Hey, what's up, people? This is Beats Exclusives up on the block, the Industry House podcast. I mean, this is where we do all the jibbity jabba episode 2. So when I say Industry House, you say Boys for Talk. Charlie, today we're up on the block, and today's conversation, I mean, I think is one that is very delicate, but at the same time informative. And so, you know, if you want to learn something new from our opinions, stick and stay, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We are here educating all of you. And so the question is, industry or community, which one should musicians prioritize? Now, I ask this because the industry is like a marketplace, an open space marketplace where everybody can come and, you know, display whatever they have, you know, mind their business and go home. And the community is one that you can fall on for support, you know, in terms of everything. I mean, sometimes we want to believe we are independent, but we are interdependent. I mean, we depend on each other to survive. I mean, I probably don't know you, but, you know, some business you're doing somewhere will trickle down to me, you know, based off the money you make or something like that. So, I mean, we are interdependent. So, you know, do you need a community to survive this industry, or you just want to deal with the industry on your own by yourself? That's the conversation for today. Bro, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, warm up yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say hello to everyone watching us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you're watching us from.
Yeah.
This conversation is a nice one, I would say.
Right.
I mean, we will learn a lot from this. Me personally being an artist,
Right.
You know, and I think that basically as an artist, you cannot do without the industry.
Right.
That's a fact. But if I want to set priorities, I think that I would want to build my community.
Right.
As in my fan base.
Right. Okay.
You understand?
Right.
The fan base to me is the community that an artist needs,
Right.
you know, to project himself,
Right.
you know, in the industry.
Right.
The industry is there. I mean, there are so many musicians, so many producers, so many songwriters. They are all part of the industry.
Right.
You know, the engineers, they are all part of the industry.
Right.
But the point is, when the music is released and it's out there, it is the fan base that is going to push you. I mean, it's the fan base that is basically going to give you the streams,
Yeah.
and, you know, talk about the music to get others to also, you know, interested in the music.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, get you the kwacha, you know. So
Right.
as an artist, basically, moving your act forward, I think that you need to build your fan base. You need to build your community, the community.
Right.
I can give examples. Let's take Shatta Wale,
Right.
one of the biggest acts in Ghana,
Right.
you know, when it comes to music. When he was Bandana, I don't think that he had that big fan base.
I mean, I think Bandana was dealing with the industry
directly, exactly.
So, I mean, he was dependent on whatever the industry is providing at the time.
Exactly.
Compared to now that he has.
So Bandana went away for some years, rebranded, and came back as Shatta Wale.
Right.
And then started building the fan base.
Right.
And we all know, let Shatta enter the studio right now and cough, just cough on some beats. And you would see what the fan base,
I mean,
you know.
Yeah.
I went to Afro Nations concert. Shatta Wale came to, was it Afro Nation? I forgot. It's one of the Afros. Afrochella, I think,
Right.
in Ghana.
Yeah. We are Afrochella, yeah.
Afrochella, yeah, in Ghana. And Shatta Wale came to perform. Oh my God. I mean, I'm saying, oh my God. Shatta Wale on stage there were big acts who came to perform. I mean, big acts came. Some from Nigeria, some from, you know. And when Shatta Wale was on stage, the fire from the fan base, you know, not Shatta's performance per se. He can perform, we all know. But the response from the fan base makes you, an artist there, think, what am I doing? You know, because if you are on that stage, you will not get that response because you don't have that community.
Right.
You know, I've gone to Sarkodie's Rapaholic concert.
Yeah.
in Ghana, and his community,
Right.
his fan base
Right.
that he's built around himself. When he's on stage, it's fire.
Right.
And it's not just on stage. All these are showing in their numbers,
Right.
in their streams,
Yeah.
all over the platforms.
Yeah.
So as an artist, I think that it's very important. You can't do away with the industry because obviously that's your kind of your office.
Yeah, that's where you belong.
That's where you belong.
Yeah.
But the point is to move forward in that industry, you definitely need to build that community around you that will help push your music.
Right. I like the angle you're coming from. My perspective, or what I have in mind is, mainly if I'm talking about community, I'm talking about not just the fans, but I'm talking about, having good relations with other artists who will be willing to, because the fans are only the end consumers of what we do. You get what I'm saying? Their job is to hype, listen, stream, have access to the end results of what we do. But before we get to the end result is where I am looking at. So I'm thinking, you as an artist, sometimes if you have a good community of fellow musicians who have studios, that alone gives you access to some kind of free studio, or even if it's not free, your good friend, a discounted studio session. So I think in that case, that is the main core for this conversation. For me, I think musicians, sometimes, we kind of act like women in one house. Everybody wants to put their talent as superior. And so sometimes, we tend to want to step on each other. But I feel like we kind of need each other more than sometimes we perceive. Because as an artist, imagine you have 10 musicians, who are your good friends at your disposal. If you decide to put up your own concert, that is quick, easy access to musicians to come and support you. Yeah. And so when
they are also coming with their
fans as well. Fans, you get what I'm saying? And so, having a good fan base is a community as well. But I am thinking of more of the back end. Typical example for me will be R2Bs. The time R2Bs and the whole Tema movement entered the music industry, it used to be very dominated by Accra, and then the whole Tema movement came. Imagine D-Crime, Sarkodie, Mugi's Payday, Anda, Opanka, Yaosiki. They came in like, it was when nobody least expected. But I think Dr. Duncan was the whole engineer when he brought the whole Kasahari vibe, they kind of brought the guys together. And then because Adom FM was in Tema as well, so it was easier for all of them to come together and show up on the program, and eventually became like each other's support.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we need a lot of that in the industry. And another good example for me would be Asaka Boys. If somebody had told me there is going to be a group coming from Kumasi with the same energy as Rough Riders, if you know like J-Bad to me is like DMX within the Rough Riders group. And so the whole Kumerica vibe, and you kind of see these guys, and Charlie, they are supporting each other. If for nothing at all, the way they are able to feature each other and shoot their own music videos. They fill up the whole Kumasi Sports Stadium with no industry support. Kind of doing their own thing within their own backyard. There's not even one commercial event that I can think of that the industry put Asaka Boys on. I've never seen them perform on Ghana Music Awards.
I've not seen them perform.
Yeah, I've never seen them perform on. They've done a lot of outside shows, and I think it's also because, it's not just one person mounting the stage. It's a whole group, and everybody have different songs. They have songs together, and so if you decide to book them, there's more to it than just one individual coming on the stage.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so, what do you think?
Yeah. The point of establishing that kind of friendship, that kind of togetherness with other artists is very important.
Yeah.
It is very important. There are so many things that you need from each other. Everybody brings a different vibe.
Yes.
So if you have friends in the industry that you can form a community with, it is very, very good. It's a good point you raised there. Because I was on tour, let me put it like that, as an A&R manager to Ochame Kwame.
Right.
The one mic.
Looks like you and Ochame Kwame there.
We are buddies. We are brothers from another mother.
Ochame Kwame has a book with his wife, so I think the next one will be you and him.
Right. So we go back a long time. If I tell you how we met, it's funny,
small world.
but that's a
different
story for a different
conversation for
another day. But that's also one kind of the friendship that we have. When I was doing my album, my current my debut album, the Songs of Songs album, there was I just took one song, sent it to him, and said, "Oh, brah, can you give me a verse?" Said, "Oh, why not?"
Right.
I mean, it was just like that. Yeah. Because of the kind of relationship that we've built. And he gave me a verse for free. I'm sure if you want to get a verse from Ochiame Kwame, you would have to go.
I mean, you probably have to go through his manager, go through his wife. Because I mean, the wife is also his manager somehow.
It's and your hand has to go deep into your pocket.
It's not just word of mouth.
Exactly.
I mean, it's business.
But I got it for free, and it's one of. So
I mean, listen, he's just given a key. So if you want a feature from Ochami, you probably have to come this way. route your, Anyway, keep it going.
Yeah. So the point is that friendship with other musicians is very, very important. Not just musicians, not just artists. I mean, all the stakeholders, talk about DJs, presenters. If you are able to build that cordial relationship with them to form a community, I think that it goes a long way to help. It goes a long way to help. There are so many things but at the end of the day, then your fan base also comes in.
They are the end users, so
push because
makes everything.
The point is, when you do the music, going through all the channels with the friends you have, going to studios, you have musician friends who can play for you for free. Produce songs at discounted prices, and help you bring the ideas you have into reality. At the end of the day, you need people to go and click on that song.
I mean, it's
and
very
listen.
necessary. It's very, very necessary.
Because that is what is going to bring you.
I mean, that is what is going to. Sometimes it's not even about the money. It's just being able to see that people really appreciate what you do. That alone is a lot of encouragement.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
exactly. So if you go on. If you take your phone, you open Spotify and you see, the streams. Oh, mine.
The numbers
are going. All these platforms, numbers are. That's kind of, it makes you proud. Like
it's a booster.
Exactly. You the work you're doing is being appreciated. And that will be very, very successful if you're able to build a good community. Not relying on the industry.
I mean, listen, being part of the whole industry is very demanding. I mean, it demands time, it demands financial support and all of that. And so if you think you are able financially, then I mean, the industry is big for you to do whatever you want. I mean, we're not saying go and depend on other people to do whatever you want to do. You get what I'm saying? Because, I mean, we all have different strengths. You get what I'm saying? And so, for me, if you're coming into the industry and your long-term goal is to be here for a while, then you need a community.
Definitely.
If you have a long-term goal that you're going to be here for people to hear you out for a long time, then that's why typical example, what my brother is saying here, that's why Sarkodie has a fan base, Stonebwoy has a fan base. I mean, all the big artists, name them, they have fan base, they've given them names. Giving your fan base a name makes them feel some type of
they're part of you. I mean, exactly.
I mean, and it also gives them a big bragging right.
That's true.
I mean, especially if you're within the Ghana music industry.
Very true.
You will be amazed the extent they can go to protect their fan name. So, I mean, that's crazy. But if you're just here for a quick buck and you're out and you don't want anybody to be dragging you here and there, you don't want, I mean, some people are good on their own. They don't really need anybody for anything. So if you're that type of person and you think, listen, I have my own money, I have my own means and ways I can pay my way around, community is good because the more you build a community, the more you have people who supporting you, look out for you and stuff, the less I want to believe you will spend within the industry. Because typical example, say you're about to embark on a radio tour and you have 10 people you're reaching out to, and 5 amongst them, you have very good contact with them. It minimizes the amount you probably have to pay all the 10 people professionally. You get what I'm saying? I mean, the 5 that you're very friendly with might consider you and not demand full payment because probably, you know, they are able to come to your house and eat, or you guys are able to meet somewhere and, you know, just vibe and do things. You get what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I think everything does not work for everybody, but I just believe that having a community because I mean, as a musician, you're not always going to be in the mood of even recording a song. You're creatively.
I mean, it gets to a point you're like,
Have you experienced?
No,
that?
I mean, the whole of this year,
the
I don't think that I have
apart from working on the album,
because we started working on the album like 2 years ago,
right?
And it's been because there are 13 songs on the album. You know,
this man can work.
But after we got all the songs, it's been just working on. You know, getting everything right for the album to come out. So going into the studio to record a new song has not really been a priority. I mean, it's not. It's not there. Sometimes I feel, I should record a new song, and I'm like, there are 13 songs that I need to pay attention to. This can wait. That is what you're saying. Sometimes you don't, as a musician, you don't even have that edge.
You always don't have.
To go in there to record a song.
And so sometimes you just writer's block. You can think and think and think.
It won't come.
But then if you fall within a community where boys are able to meet in the studio and vibe. I mean, sometimes, you know, you can pick up the whole energy from others, you know, who are doing their thing. So listen, everything is not for everybody again. And so, I mean, do you have any experiences where you went into a studio, you didn't think of going to do a song, but when you went in there, the vibe in there.
Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot. It happens. I remember one time, I think around 2010, I went to China. Just on a visit, came back, and when I was in China, China is a nice place to be.
Right.
When it comes to entertainment.
Right.
Because of their time, the Chinese do not sleep.
Right.
Trust me. They work. They work a lot.
Right. I mean, if you see that the amount of things they are producing on the market,
and they also chill a lot.
All work and no play.
You know, I had friends. Monday to Sunday clubbing every night.
Chilling the what?
I mean, every night they will go to the club. Have fun. Come back home like 6 a.m. Sleep till like 10 a.m. and then go to work.
Right.
Work till maybe like 6 p.m.
Right.
7 p.m.
Right.
Come back home, change straight to the club.
Right.
You know.
Yo, that thing to be hard life.
You know. But because of that, and we went to different places, live music.
Right.
There are some beautiful Filipino groups. They're playing really good music, and I picked something from
a few here and there.
So when I came back to Ghana, I remember one time I went to the studio. I've forgotten in Kumasi. I've forgotten whose studio it was.
Right.
But I was there with Ochame Kwame and DJ Andy Dusty.
Right.
That time, and there was this beat that I heard in China. This rhythm, put away. So I tried to infuse it into our normal, our African rhythms and vibe and stuff like that. So I produced a track out of it, and then when I was in the studio, I gave it to. They were doing different boys, so I gave the beats to the engineer there. So play this beat. When he played the beat, Ochame Kwame, because he had the beat, he was, come on, let's do something on this track.
Let's vibe.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And then there was a song came out of it. We've not released that song yet, but I mean, just in the studio, it was
ambience
fun.
Alone.
It was fun.
The ambience alone.
You know, the vibe that came and the song that came out of that track, it was quite different. It happens. I mean, you go to the studio. I've been in the studio where Guru, just upon the vibe in the studio, hearing something, Kindi's studio, said, Ken, let me go into the booth and do something.
Deliver something.
And then he just went in there and did his thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, the energy around helps a lot to sometimes on your own, you don't even get the ideas.
Yeah.
But when there are people around
you, it helps.
The first song on my album, Wifey, I did with Andy Dusty. Yeah.
Right.
I was in the studio with Kindi.
Right.
And I was like, Ken, can we do something? Just play something for me, play a beat for me. I did not have any idea as to what I wanted to record or not, and or what song I wanted to do. Nothing. I did not have any idea. I was just give me a beat.
Yeah.
So he played something. There were other friends who added ideas to the.
Everybody chipped in.
And just there, ideas started flowing in my head, with the beats that had been played.
Yeah.
And we came up with a song.
I mean,
So
it works like that.
When you're working together, it helps a lot. It gives gives you the boost, to
I mean, so some people also I know some people also feel like, listen, being in a community sometimes comes with too much competition. Have you thought about that?
Competition. I think that the competition itself basically is not in the community. The competition, mostly, in my opinion, does not come from the heads of the community. Let me put it that way. The artists.
I mean, it depends.
Most of the time, in my opinion,
right.
I think that the competition mostly develops from the roots, fan base.
I mean, everything. Yeah,
those are the ones that will spark the conversation,
unnecessary attention,
exactly, and then it becomes a thing. And if you are not careful, then it becomes some friction between the two.
And I'm sure even sometimes musicians don't even know why they are beefing their friends.
Exactly.
I'm sure. And that's why some people would opt not to be in a community, because I'm on my own doing my thing and I'm not depending on anybody.
Ochame Kwame, I don't think has a labeled fan base.
I haven't heard anything for him.
Obrafo, I don't. I mean, they have fans.
Yeah, they have
but
fans,
they don't have
a
labeled fan base. I'm
for
trying
the hip life era.
I'm trying to bring some thing here, right? Ochame Kwame and Obrafo could have easily beefed.
They did.
They didn't. It wasn't a beef. Listen, it wasn't a beef because one did not really respond.
Oh, I recently heard Ochame Kwame saying he recorded a lot of songs,
but he wasn't allowed to.
Listen, people won't allow him
exactly.
To release it.
If they had fan base, if they had labeled fan base, let me put it that way,
right,
that were recognized, like let's say maybe Abrafo gangs,
Abrafo gang. Achame squad or something.
Those, when Obrafo released that Kasiebo song, that is purported to be a diss song
that song was hard though.
To Ochame Kwame.
Yeah.
I'm sure the fan base themselves would have pushed Ochame Kwame to respond.
I mean, if Ochame Kwame, if he didn't want to respond,
he would have
on Twitter alone, Agenda Boys would start the whole vibe.
Exactly.
Right.
I get what you're saying. But because that response did not come, that beef did not last. You understand? And they are cool. They are brothers.
Yeah, I mean,
moving forward.
I like what I heard Ochame Kwame say recently. It was on.
Is it on Hits? I think.
Yeah, I think it was on Hits.
He did one on Hits, and I think he did an interview too with.
And I like what he said. He said at the time when Obrafo released that song, he's grateful that his people didn't allow him to release his responses, because if he had released his responses, his respect would have dropped, and then at the same time he would lose a good friend.
Exactly.
Meaning, right now
they are good friends.
He's found a good friend in Obrafo.
Exactly.
I mean, I think his response now is so excellent and perfect. I mean, it diminishes any other thoughts that people felt like he couldn't have replied Obrafo. I mean, that song was hard, but anyway.
I'm just trying to use that to buttress my point that it's the fan base that really make
sometimes
they really fan the fire. They really fan
the fan base, isn't it? The fan behind you.
They really fan the fire, to because recently Shatawale and Blacko, this beef, I don't even call it beef, because
I think it was just
miscommunication or something. I mean, but I chanced on an X Space section. Shatta was hosting his fans, and
Tawale and his fans.
The kind of comments that the fans were making.
Yeah,
I mean, some were even saying they need Kojo Sheldon's home address to go and whack him in his house.
Imagine.
You know, so the point I'm trying to make here right now is that these beefs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's the fan base.
Fan base, yeah.
You know, so the community that you build is, I mean, how you steer the community.
Yeah. I think you're if you're able to put people together, you're responsible for their behavior sometimes.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So, and you are able to use them to your advantage, you know, too. That is why I believe that, even though we are in an industry, there are stakeholders in the industry that you need to vibe with, you need to be cool with, you need to, you know, build that relationships with.
Yeah.
But all of them can be drawn into your community.
Yeah.
You know, so that together with your fan base that you build, you know, form that big community that will push your craft.
Yeah. Well said. You've said you've hit a lot of nails on the head. I don't know if that's even correct English, but anyway, it is what it is. Listen, I just feel like in all what we're trying to say is, and like I've said before, everything is not for everybody, and so you pick and choose your battles and see which one works for you the best. I mean, I know some people don't. I mean, some people are just fine by themselves, but then also don't forget, especially, and this part of my submission is going to new artists. Listen, the industry is really made up of a lot of communities.
Yeah.
Some are undertone, some are very obvious for us to see. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially when it comes to the DJs, the presenters, you know, these two names, I mean, they have a lot of bonding amongst them that if you don't know and you offend one person, you might be offending the whole block.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you have to be very careful. If you choose to, you know, work alone in the industry, if you ask me, I would say, listen, if you happen to be the one that is catching steam amongst your friends and all your friends are musicians, try and bring them along with you. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, they will be the very backbone that you will need. I mean, I know it's difficult, but try and have people that are supporting you.
Right.
And, I mean, whatever we're saying on here they're not just our opinions, and these are industry knowledge that we've gathered through and through the years that we've been active, you know, doing music. So whatever you think works for you, apply it.
No, you can try to do things on your own, but okay, listen, not necessarily build a community.
I mean, I've lost my thoughts.
Not necessarily build a community. Not necessarily build a community, but even if you're not building a community, you still need people in the industry to help your craft.
True.
You understand? So it's not just about building you can prioritize the community, the community, like I would prefer. You can also decide to prioritize the industry. That is dealing with industry people
by yourself. I mean,
you know,
no pressure.
You can decide to, you know, for example, you want to go on a radio station, you call the programs manager of the radio station. I want to be on your station. How much do you charge for airtime? And then you pay. And you go.
You pay, you know, you go. I
mean, you can decide. But I would also want to call that DJ friend that I know.
Yeah, somebody who knows somebody.
Exactly. And can you please help me out to do this? Yeah, so there's no one way of doing this.
Yes.
It's not like a one size fits all.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever you prefer, you just have to try as much as possible to work hard towards that angle. Whichever way, whether it is prioritizing the industry or prioritizing the community, whichever way you choose. Because if you don't work, it will not work for you.
I mean, all of them demands hard work. So,
exactly. So if you don't work hard, you will not succeed in both.
Cool. Listen, thank you guys for joining us today. This is the Industry House podcast. When I say Industry House, you say
Boys for Talk.
Like, share, subscribe, you know. Follow us on all platforms at Beat Exclusives. And then follow Ahina Music, you know, stream his latest album, Songs of Songs album. I mean, I've heard he's doing a lot of numbers on Boomplay. Thank you guys on Boomplay for streaming the music. Well, what do you have to say to your people on Boomplay?
Yeah.
It looks like your community is on Boomplay.
Right. I think that I am trying so much to get, you know, a base that I can rely on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. I mean, starting something like this is not always easy.
Yeah.
You need to get people who resonate with your
whole vibe.
Yeah, your vibe,
the whole agenda.
Exactly. So yeah, we are doing well so far. Audio Mac, Boomplay. I mean, thank you guys. I can't say thanks much because every day the numbers keep going up. And then so we are very grateful. Myself, the team, and even the community members that are there helping. We are all grateful to each other, for the support that we are getting. We hope that very soon we'll be able to establish the Trimode family, because and then move on with it.
All right, cool. This is your boy Beats Exclusives. I'm here with Ohene Music. Thank you guys for keeping the vibe going. We appreciate the likes. The page is growing. Beats Exclusives on YouTube is growing. I mean, it's Beats Exclusives on all platforms apart from TikTok. TikTok it's mad though. I mean, I didn't really want to share my TikTok handle, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for checking us out. Catch you on the next one. When I say Industry House, you say
Boys for Talk.
Bless.